In the previous class, we have done the encapsulation part. In this encapsulation part, we have done with the what is private class, what is public class, and what is the protected class in the Python. So we have done some code over there also. I will show you. Is my Google Colab is visible to you? Yeah, I am explaining the previous class. Don't worry. Is my Google Colab is visible to you clearly? This font size is okay. So we have done the protected, public, and private class in the previous class. Previous class. So firstly, we have to define a class. In that class, you can define a public or protected or private variable with using this sign, with using this single underscore sign. If you using it once, it is the private, and when you are using it twice, it is the when you are using it two times, it is private, and when you are using it one time, it is protected. In the Python for assigning the variables. Okay, so whenever I am using this underscore with the variable, it is my protected. Means whenever I am changing it in the further programming, it will not change it. Why? Because it is protected by the program. Now I have defined the second class in which I will call this base class, and over there I am changing this value. So whenever I print the value according to the class, it will show the different value. For example, over there I have created a object one class, object one, uh, one object as a object one, and second object as object two. And I will assign the class base and the derived. When I call this derived function, it will print me, it will give me the output as a print calling protected number of base classes self.a, which is 3. So in the first part, when I'm calling this base class, when I'm calling this object one dot protected a, I will get output as 2. And when I'm calling this print accessing protected member of object 2, I will get the answer as 3. Now, accessing protected member of object 1. What is the object 1? Object 1 is my derived class. So the what is the value of the private member of this object? It is 3. Okay. And what is the value of the protected member of object 2? A. What is my object 2? It is the object of the base class. And what is the value of my protected A in the base class? It is 2. So it will print me 2, and then it will print me to 3. Over here, when I'm calling this derived function, first it will print the calling protected member of base class. It will it will take the value from the base class and print the value 2. So the answer in the sequence of 2, 3, 3, 2. Okay. So I am getting the answer in the sequence of 2, 3, 3, 2. So this is 2, 3, 3, and 2. So whenever we have to call the private member or the public member, if I am remove the underscore from the here, I will get an error. Okay. I will get an error. Why? Because derived object has no attribute A. It doesn't print the value A from the derived attribute. Why? Because here we have defined the variable as underscore a, and I will call the only a function. So by using this underscore, you can create the public, private, and the protected class. Is it okay to you? How can I send you a link to activate your email ID? Good evening, Sai Bhatt. So by encapsulation means we have to break something in two different or the other different methods. So here we have defined the variable in the three parts. First is private, then protected, and the third is public. Okay. Now the second thing, the last OOPS concept, object-oriented programming. The last concept is abstraction. Abstraction or the data abstraction. This is the method by which it is a process of handling complexity by hiding unnecessary information from the user. If I am saying you as a developer or as a programmer, you have to need to see the code. But as a user doesn't want to see the code. Why? Because it irritates them. If I know the use of calculator is just for adding, subtracting, or deleting the numbers. For example, sometime when the server is not good for the website or it is not working properly, it is showing the error or it is showing the XML code to the user. But it is not necessary for the user. Why? Because user doesn't understand that particular code. So for that, we have to do the data abstraction. We have to abstract the data from the user so that user only see the function of the program, not the program itself. Pagdala Venugopal, I am not giving any information on your mail. Okay. So by using the data abstraction method, we have to abstract or hidden the code from the user. So whenever we are calling this abstraction function in the Python, we have to we have to from ABC. ABC is the library. From there, you have to import the ABC meta and abstract method when you are creating an abstract function over there. Then you have to define a class. I have defined a shape class over here, and then meta class. Meta class is my library, and ABC is the value of that. Then I define the init function and define the shape type. I will do a programming for calculating the area and the perimeter of the shapes. Like what is the perimeter of rectangle, what is the perimeter of square, what is the perimeter and area of different shape like rectangle, square, circle. So for that, we have defined this area and pass. Whatever here in the area, it will pass the value and it will take the area value from the particular shapes class. For example, here I have defined a rectangle class in which I am calling this shape class. Shape class is my parent class and rectangle class is just like a child class. After defining the init function in the rectangle class, I will call the shape dot init function. In that, I have defined the shape as a rectangle. After that, I have to define the length, breadth, and calculate the area and the perimeter of that. What is the perimeter of rectangle? It is 2 bracket L plus B. 2 multiply L in length plus breadth. Yeah, it hides the internal data or it hides the unvaluable data from the user. Okay, then for calculating the perimeter and calculating the area, we have defined the function over here. Return length into breadth, and in the perimeter, return the value of length plus b and breadth plus length and breadth and multiplied by 2. And after that, uh, calling the circle class, creating a circle class for the area and the perimeter. Over here, I have defined this pi. Why? Because the circle is the using the pi to calculate the area and calculate the uh, circumference of itself also. So if over here I have called this circle dot pi function and multiplied by it with the radius square. Okay, and I am doing the round off to the 2 digits. Round off means generally it will take only the two digits. Generally, it has the default value of 6 digits. After the point, after the decimal, it will take the digit as a default. But whenever we are assigning the variable over here, for example, 2 or 3, it will take till there. So creating this function, after that, I have created an object over here. I have created the rectangle object to calculate the area. And if I want to calculate the perimeter, I have just only creating the rectangle dot perimeter and then us calling the function like this. So my so firstly it will print the area. What is the area of rectangle? It is length multiplied by breadth. And what is the perimeter? It is 2 bracket L plus B. 2 multiplied by length plus breadth. Now, if I want to create a circle object like C is equals to circle, and I am passing the value of radius as a radius is 21. Now I will print circle dot area, circle dot perimeter. So as a area, we can get the pi r square. It is 22 by 7 or 3.4 multiplied by 21 multiplied by 21. So the 21 square is 441 and multiplied by 3. It is just giving me answer approximately 1367 like that. And when I'm calling for the perimeter, it is 2 multiplied by 21. What's happening? Self shape. Uh, Area missing one required positional argument cell. Okay, okay. Over here, I have called only the C function. Why? Because I am creating the object of that function and I am calling the whole class. It is giving me the error too. Okay. So my area is 1384 and my parameter is 131.88. Is it understandable to you? Guys, it is clear to you? Yeah, okay. So by using this abstraction method, you just only have to pass this values to the user. User just want the answer only. They don't want the whole code. They only want the answer part of the particular program. So whenever they need the answer, I have to, or as a programmer, I have to only just pass the value to them. The next topic in this, we have covered, completed the OOPS concept in the Python. So firstly, the concept of OOPS programming. In the OOPS programming, we have covered the class, objects, what is polymorphism, encapsulation, inheritance, and there is a five type of inheritance. First is simple, second is multi-level, third is multiple, fourth is hybrid, and fifth is hierarchical. Okay, so you have to done the code with all the inheritance by yourself, and data abstraction we have also done it today. Okay, so now the next topic is generator and what is the use of generator in the Python. Okay, so why we need or why we use the generator function to create the normal function, or what is the need of that particular function. Okay, so the generator function is a normally defined function, but whenever it need to generate a value, it does so with the yield keyword. Generally, in the Python function, we use the return function to giving output as a something to the user. But in the generator function, in only the generator function, you have to use the yield method. Why? Because whenever you yield particular value, after calling it once, it will give you or generate you the next value. For example, if I am returning something, if I am returning a value, it will return the same value whenever I am calling the function. But generator returns the different value every time whenever you are calling this function. Okay. For example, whenever you have used the yield function in the any function, when you use the yield to any function, the Python interpreter take it as a generator and it will give you the next value every time. For example, over here, I have created this yield function. In the yield function, I have defined creating a function like simple generator function. And in that, I have yield 1, 2, 3. Then the output of this function is 1, 2, and 3. And now I am calling this function after uh, using this loop for value in simple generator fun print value. So in the first loop, in the first iteration, it will print 1. In the second iteration, it will print 2. And in the third iteration, it will print 3. Instead of yield, if I am return using the return value, it will only or it will return the 1, 2, 3 every time. For example, here our loop is running 3 times for the index 0, 1, and 2. Yield return the value 1, 2, 3. But when if I'm using the return function over the yield function, it will print the value 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 times. Do you understand what is the yield function? What is the use of yield in a function? Guys, the Friday's test is just the optional test. I want to check the knowledge of yours that how much you have gained from this course till now. So there is no issue to getting a certificate. I know you all are coming here for the certificates. You don't want the knowledge. You only want the certificates. Whatever the course you are doing with your college, after completion of that, if you have 100 certificates and zero knowledge, no company will give you the work. And you have the zero certificate and you have the 100% of knowledge, every company should consider you. They don't want the certificates from you. They only want the knowledge or the right thing. So come here to gain something. Don't waste your time and the money also. If you have given the test on the Friday, the PPT link or the Excel sheet link is containing your result. And if you didn't give that test, your answer or your result is not containing there. Okay. Monica, there is no issue if you don't give your test. This test is just a formality for me to checking your knowledge. That how much do you gain from this class till now after completing the course. Shokalingam, I have start the project after completing this course. In the next week, we will start the project from Monday. In this present week, we will cover the whole topics of your module. Then we will start the project from Monday. Okay. Yeah. Guys, any doubt regarding generator, yield, return, the difference between return and yield? Yeah, I will completed your course before 30 November. Don't worry, Shokalingam. There are 8 modules. I have completed till 7. Till now, I have completed till 7. Only the one module is left. So I will say once repeat the generator topic. Okay, I will. Uh, in return, we will give the variable name. Yeah, we will give the variable name. So it will just return the value once. In the yield function, over here, I will show you. Whenever you are uh, for just like yield, using yield in a particular function, it the Python interpreter take it as a generator. And what is the use of generator? It generates the value. Okay. So whenever we, for example, over here, I have used the, I will show you in the Python Colab. Okay. I have defined the define simple generator function over here, and I will print this yield 1, yield 2, yield 3. And when I am calling this like X, creating a object over here by using this function, and I will print the next. What is the next do here? It will print the next value of X to the yield. So it will print, give me output as a 1, 2, 3. It will give my answer as a 1, 2, 3. Instead of yield, if I am using the return value, it will only give me the value one time or a same value. For example, if I'm return 10, int object is not an iterator. Okay. And generally the next is also a function through which we can iterate the value. So if I'm printing x three times, if I'm printing x three times, it will give me 10, 10, 10. Okay. Instead of using yield over there, if I'm using the yield, you can generally you have to create an iterator to iterate the value. You are using the next function also. You are using the for loop also. Okay. Five types of inheritance. What is the doubt of yours, Riaz Ahmed? What you didn't understand in the five types of inheritance? Just ask me that. No, there is no exam for the encapsulation. Just means you have to, for example, you have the capsule in the term of biological terms. Whenever we need medicine, there is a capsule. When you are opening that particular capsule, there is two parts in there over there, and you have some little balls in there for just like of medicine or just like of some solid material. Like that in the coding or programming also, we have a program just like a capsule. In particular program, there are two types, variable and the values. And the particular material in which present over there, they all are the logic and the algorithm we are using in that particular program. Yeah, it is just like a wrapping of data. Hybrid inheritance is the when we are calling the object and class in a particular object, the different class. For example, we are creating the class one, 2, 3, 4. I will calling the 4 class in 2 or 3 and 1 class in 4. So it is just like a hybrid inheritance. There is no structure in that. There is no flow of instruction in that. Yeah, it is the combination of two type of data. First is multiple, second is multi-level. A generator function, whenever we are needed in the using the different type of variable, a different type of values in a particular function, then we are using this generator function to generate a particular value. For example, in some function, you have to create the multiple of 5. Okay, you are just using, you don't have to use the for loop, and I am saying that you have don't have to use the for loop, and you don't have to use the addition function, and you have to create a particular function for giving me the output as a multiple of 5. So for that, you can create, for example, yield 5 and then yield 10 plus 5, yield 15 plus 5. So it will give me the output as a multiple of 5. 5, 15, and 20. Okay. Is it okay to you? Okay. So these are some difference between yield and the return. First thing is that return a generator object. Yield return a generator object. Whether the re return the result of a caller statement. When we call a particular function, it will return the value of that function, and yield return the object of that function. A generator function can only one yield statement. A normal function can have multiple return statement. We can use multiple times of return in a particular function, but in the function we are using yield function only a single time. So these are some difference between them. Codes after the yield statement are executed in a subsequent function calls. Code after the return statement is not executed. This is the main and most important point in this. In the yield function, uh, over here, I have used the yield 3 times. Okay, so after this yield statement, my program is executing regularly or continuously. But if I am using the return function over here, it will not execute the program after that. After the return statement, our program doesn't get executed. Okay. Now the Python lambda function. Sometimes we are using this lambda function to create just a small function, or where we don't want to use the some bigger function in that. So we have to use this lambda function. It is an anonymous function, which means that a function is without a name. Okay. This function doesn't have any name. For defining this, we are using the lambda keyword, and after that the variable and the colon, and over here we are using some conditional statement or some processing statement for the program. So this is just like a single line of program. And what is the benefit of using the lambda program? What is the properties of that? So this function can have many number of arguments, but only one expression, which is evaluated and returned. We are using the numbers of variable in the particular lambda function, and the lambda function is a single line function. We are creating a single line function using the lambda. One is free to use lambda function wherever functions objects are required. We are free to use lambda function, but whenever we are used or we are calling the functions, we have to create a object for that particular class or particular function. You need to keep in your knowledge that lambda function are syntactically restricted to a single expression. We don't have to use. If I am using the lambda function or creating a lambda function, after that we are not able to write a two expression in that particular function. We are restricted. We don't have any access to write a two functions in a particular lambda function. If we want to create another function, then we have to define the lambda function again. But for a single lambda function, we have to write a code in a single line. It has various uses in particular field of programming beside other type of expression in function. Now I am showing you how you can create a lambda function in a Python program. Firstly, you have to define a lambda. I have defined the object here as a variable like CLC. This is a calculator, and I am creating this lambda function. In the lambda function, I am defining the num. Okay, num will print even. Num will print even number if my this condition is true, it will print the even number, else it will print the odd number. So whenever I am calling this print cal 21, it will print the value as a 20. But if I am calling it for the value 5, value 17, it will print me the even number, odd number, and then odd number. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? The use of lambda function is clear to you? Once again, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, I will explain once again. What is the use of this lambda function? Lambda function is shortening your program. Over here, I have written this program. I have written the odd even program in just a single line. In the previous class, when I have written the odd even program, it takes 3 or 4 lines of code. Over here, we don't have to define a function. We are using just a single variable. After that, you have a keyword like lambda. You have to define the lambda and then the variable to which you are passing in that. If my number is even, it will print the even number. If my num mod 2 is equals to 0, else odd number. Okay. Now we will see some more function over the lambda function. Over here, I have defined a filter nums. In the filter nums, I have defined this lambda function and creating the s variable. In the s variable, I have assigning a empty list to this and join. What should I have to join over here? I have to join this ch. What is ch? Ch is known as a character. Character for character in s. And what is s? I have to define over here. If not ch dot is digit. If my character is not containing the digits, it will go to this s, else it will continue this program. So the return and the value of this print filter nums geeks 101, it will remove this 101 and it will give me the output as geeks. If I am using this is alpha, it will only return 101. Okay, so as a output, I will get geeks after executing the first. In the filter nums, it will print the geeks. Okay, if I am using the is alpha over the is digit, if I am using is alpha, what is the answer? 101. Okay, this function is understandable to you all. How we can change the value by using just is alpha or is numeric or is digit. This function is clear to you all. Filter nums function is clear to you all. Okay, okay. Write a function in the lambda. You have to write a function in lambda to giving me a square and cube of a particular number. Write me in the chat box. You have to write a function for the cube and the square using lambda. Okay, write the code into the chat. You have to write a lambda function for the square and the cube. It is just a simple code. You have to think once and write the code in the chat. Guys, I want the answer in the chat. I have asked you a question. Am I audible to you? Loki, I am audible to you. Raghavendra, I am audible to you. I have given you a question. You have to write a lambda function for the square and the cube of a value. Square is equals to lambda x square is equal to define square x. Okay, now I understand you have to. So in the second program, I have do exclaim. I have defined this lambda s to s plus this quotation mark. So print do exclaim. In the do exclaim, I am giving my input as a I am tired. So it will just add the exclamation mark at the end of the tired in the result. So it will give me the output as I am tired. Okay. And if I am written like this, uh, today we have won the match. Okay. So after the match, it will print this exclamation mark. Now the last function is find sum. In the sum function, I have defined this 101 and int x for x in strn. In the strn, it will print the particular function. Mm. Int x for x in strn. Firstly, we have defined this n to str and then check this int function and add that particular. Okay, so it will print this value 1001. And if I am giving me like this, it will print the answer as a 4. Okay, so this is the sum of a particular number. For example, if I want to know whether this number is divisible by 3 or not, so we can know this. The sum of the number is, if the sum of the number is divisible by 3, then the number itself is also divisible by 3. So this program is using in that particular algo. Okay. All the Three program is clear to you. Filter nums, do exclaim and find sum. Is it clear to you? Hmm. Square is equal to lambda x square. It is right. Square, type square, function square 5, define square. Yeah, you have to give the variable name. No. What function should we use if we are willing to make a question like do exclaim? Do exclaim. What function should we use if we are willing to make a question like you just use the do exclaim, define do exclaim, and then in that particular mm, function you have to pass the statement or a string, particular string, and after that you have just returned the string plus exclamation mark. Okay, Farhana? At the place of exclamation mark, you have to put the question mark. If I am putting the question mark over here, I will get the answer as a question mark, like this. How old are you? This is the question. So it will print you the question mark over here. Is it okay? Okay. 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 So finding the q, you have to define over here. I have defining a q function, and then I am using this lambda q function. So invoking function defined with diff keyword and cube 30. I have using the function over here, cube 30, and in the second we are using the lambda q function. So we will get the answer as same, the 27,000 in the both cases. Okay, 27,000 by using this q function and by using this lambda function, we are also getting the same as a. Now I have defined this L list, which is a string. Okay, first I have sorted this L and then lambda x int. I will convert this into int and then sorted it. So it will print like 0. First is -1, 0, 1, 2. In the result, it will print -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 9. So these all are the function of lambda we are using in it. Now I am using the list, then filter on the basis of this function. We will filter the value of L. So what is my now lambda function is saying not. If my number is not divisible by 2, means my number is even. If my number is even and my number is also greater than 0, then it will print the list, else doesn't print the list. And if I am using no, if I am using not here, now the result is totally different. Okay, it will only print the value 2. Now I will use this not function, so we will get the different result. Oh, I have condensed it. Okay. And in the last, I have defined the map function. The use of the map function is just like a mapping or doing the cross multiplication of some elements. So we have the how many elements? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We have the seven element map are just using to remove all the elements singly, and then it will add the 10 to every integer. Okay. So we will have the result like 11, 12, 13, 19, 10, 9, minus 8. Sorry, 8. All this function is clear to you. All this function is clear to you. So the last topic of today is Python iterator. The generator and the iterator. Generator is used for the generating values, and iterator is used for iterating a particular object or a countable number. Iterators means it is just iterate the value or going one value to other value. We are using the next and the Python and the iter function over in the Python. An iterator is an object that can be iterate upon, meaning that you can traverse through all the values. Generally, we are traversing or we are going through all the values present in a particular function. So I have created a iterator over here. I have created this my number class. In the my number class, I have assigned a value to 1. And when I'm calling this next function, if my a is less than or is equals to 20, it will add 1 to a. And if my number is greater than 20, then it will stop the iteration. I have created an object of the class, which is my class. I have defined it with the class, my numbers, and my iter. I will iter my class. So I am getting all the values till 20. So I will getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 till 20. If I am using the greater value, for example, if I am using the, for example, I am using the 2, okay, it will take some time to execute, but it will print all the number till 2 lakh. You are saying this, it will execute this. I'm not executing all. So generally meaning of iter, we can iterate using the loop also, but when we are compelled to use the loop, we have to use the iterate function in a particular class. Or sometime some developer is asking you to do a code from the scratch to for the looping. So for that you have to write like this. If I want the value in the reverse order, so I will print like this: a is equals to 0, and over here I have assigned the value a minus, and I will return the x value. If my a is greater than is equals to 0, it will print the value a minus 1. And over here, I have assigned this value to 20. It will print the values in the reverse order. like 20, 90, 18, 17. Okay. So you can create an iterator or iterable function using the some lines of code. Now I have assigned. We are using the my. We are iterating the single element from the string also. For example, over here I have defined a banana, and I want to iter this iter function. We have creating over, and I will call the next. For example, whenever I am calling the next, it is using just like a iterator. So it will print B A N A N A. For example, in the my IT, if I am, for example, in the list iter, I have assigned a list in the list like only L, and over here I have assigned the value L is equals to for for I in range 100. So it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you guys understand what is this meaning? What is this L contains? Tell me what is this L contains. How many digits in this L? Karthik, are you here? One. No. Karthik. Karthik Kumar. Size. Size of what? Chaitanya. Can you please tell me what is this L contains? Yeah. It will contain the value from 0 to 99, not 1. So many times I have told you that the iterating object is containing from 0 to 99. 0 to 99. Yeah. In the next object, I am calling the next my IT. Okay. Chandrasekhar, it will contain from 0 to 99. Actually, the indexing is start in the Python is from 0. In all the programming language, the indexing start from the 0. So it will contain the value 0 to 99. Is it okay to you? Okay, okay. Guys, if you have any doubt in the today's class, you can ask me. And if you don't have any doubt, you can leave the class. And guys, be practice more. Please do the practice on the codes in the Python collab, which we have written in the class. You can check your test marks on the spreadsheet. The link I have shared in the chat already. I have to share this link again in the chat so that you can see your marks. If you have any doubt, you can message me in the chat